Forget every sci-fi movie and wild online theory you've seen about the Egyptian pyramids. No aliens, no magic, just pure jaw-dropping human genius that's still baffling engineers today. Today we peel back layers of myth to reveal the astonishing real-world engineering brilliance of ancient Egypt that will change how you see history forever. We've spun tales of star-faring visitors, but this story does a profound disservice to the very people who deserve all the credit. The truth, as it often is far more grounded, and honestly, I would argue, infinitely more inspiring. So, let's embark on a different kind of journey. Not into speculative science fiction, but a journey back in time guided by archaeology, science, and a respect for our ancestors. We will strip away the layers of myth and cosmic fantasy to reveal the brilliant minds that conceived of these timeless monuments. The real story isn't about what aliens did for us, it's about what we as humans did for ourselves. Let's begin. One of the first questions people ask is about the stones. How on earth did they move multi-ton blocks of limestone granite? The idea of dragging them across dry sand seems impossible. This is where the myth makers step in, suggesting it wasn't about defying physics, it was about mastering it. An ancient tomb painting provides a crucial clue. The scene depicts a man pouring liquid onto the sand just ahead of its runners. Experiments have shown that wetting sand reduces friction dramatically. It's a beautiful example of simple physics applied with brilliant insight. They constructed massive wooden sledges, used water, canals and barges, an integrated system of transport. The pyramids are not just piles of stone. They are cosmic clocks aligned with breathtaking precision to the cardinal points. North, south, east, west, not aliens. The answer is written in the sky itself. Pole star method: track one star circling the celestial pole, mark its rising and setting points. Solar gnomon method: place a vertical pole, track the shadow tip through the day, the curve gives east-west, bisect the angle, you have true north. Align the passageways toward those stars, a pathway for the king's soul. The stars were their guides, not their alien instructors. The classic Hollywood image of pyramid construction is one of misery. It's a dramatic, emotionally charged picture, but archaeology has almost completely dismantled it. The real workforce was not a disposable mass of enslaved people. Archaeologists uncovered bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves each day. They found remains of cattle, sheep and goats. Workers ate prime cuts. The graves of these workers found near the pyramids show they were buried with honor. The bones show healed fractures, amputations, and even brain surgery. When injured on the job, they received medical attention from skilled physicians, a corps of skilled artisans, and a rotating crew of seasonal laborers, likely farmers during the Nile inundation. The pyramids were not built by the lash of a whip, but by the coordinated effort of a proud and organized society. The Nile River was the lifeblood of Egypt. The ancient Egyptians were its undisputed masters. Their ability to control and manipulate water went far beyond simple farming. They dug a network of canals that brought the river's waters right to the base of the Giza Plateau. The massive blocks could be floated from distant quarries almost to the construction site. The desert became a temporary harbour, bringing the mountain to the monument. Earthen banks formed basins capturing nutrient-rich floodwaters, creating huge surpluses. That surplus fed tens of thousands of workers and powered state projects. Canal building know-how went straight into construction. Major engineering works with ports and wharfs. It required a centralized government to plan vast public works, organize labor and manage resources across huge distances and time. They planned in decades and generations. How do you create a perfectly flat and level base for a structure covering over 13 acres like the Great Pyramid? The foundation is leveled to within a fraction of an inch across its entire expanse. First, the builders would have carved a network of shallow, intersecting trenches across the entire area of the pyramid's proposed base. Once the grid was complete, they would have flooded the entire system with water from the nearby canals. With the water as their guide, workers could measure down from the water's surface to the bedrock at various points. After marking the correct depth, they would drain the water and chip away the excess bedrock until uniform. Once the bedrock was leveled, they filled the trenches back in with rubble and laid the first course of massive paving stones. This created a solid, unbelievably stable platform on which to build. It relied on a fundamental principle of physics rather than on any complex or undiscovered technology. The perfection of the pyramids begins right here, in the simple, beautiful physics of water seeking its own level. The ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians wasn't confined to grand-scale engineering and astronomy. Materials science, medicine, the Edwin Smith Papyrus, an ancient trauma surgery textbook. It details diagnosis and treatment of 48 injuries, skull fractures, spinal injuries. They could set bones and stitch wounds with bronze needles and thread. Core blocks were precisely cut to fit. They used mortars to fill gaps and bind casing stones. They developed a gypsum-based mortar, incredibly strong and durable. Its composition is so complex, modern scientists struggle to replicate. The geopolymer concrete theory is controversial but gaining traction. Some researchers propose some blocks were cast in place. Pigments that still hold colour after 4,000 years. Prosthetics that gave amputees a chance at a normal life. The engineering principles developed by the ancient Egyptians did not vanish with their civilization. They laid a foundation, quite literally, for millennia of architecture and engineering to come. The same challenges, gravity, friction, logistics, are ones engineers still face today. We use cranes, they used ramps and levers, both rely on mechanical advantage. The pyramids were arguably the world's first mega-projects. Skyscraper, bridge, dam. The lessons learned there echo in every one we build today. Materials science today pursues ever stronger, lighter, sustainable materials, a continuation of work by ancient chemists. Their mastery of materials has a modern parallel. Even their approach to water management matters today, in an age of climate change. Their ingenuity is not a relic, it's a blueprint with lessons for us. So, we return to where we began, under the gaze of the Great Pyramids. We've journeyed through the canals, stood with the surveyors watching the stars, and walked through the village of the builders. For every seemingly impossible problem, there was an elegant and intelligent human solution. There is no need to invent stories of benevolent aliens or supernatural powers, because the truth is so much more powerful. The pyramids are a declaration written in stone of what humanity can achieve. The human brain, with its capacity for curiosity, creativity, and collaboration, is the most powerful force we know. It was this force that raised the pyramids from the desert floor. When we look at these monuments, we are seeing a reflection of the best parts of ourselves, our ability to dream on a colossal scale and then make it real. The universe is full of wonders. But one of the greatest is the 3-pound universe inside our skulls. While myths fall away, new discoveries keep showing us that human innovation, not aliens, built these wonders. From water management to durable concrete, Egyptian ingenuity still inspires today's engineers and architects. They looked at the mountains and said, "We will move you." They looked at the stars and said, "We will align with you." They looked at eternity and said, "We will build for you." And they did. The story of the pyramids is not about aliens, it's about us. If this blew your mind, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to History Reels for more fascinating history that makes the past come alive. The ancient Egyptians proved that we don't need to wait for visitors from another world to build something that can touch the stars.